everybody. Hello, welcome back to, of course, Carnation Crafts TV. Great to have your company. Hopefully you were watching the earlier show that we did at 11 o'clock this morning. But if you didn't, you can watch that back a bit later on. We've got 3 live shows today showcasing the brand new collection. This is only the second time we've actually launched a collection on Carnation Crafts TV. And it's going down a storm, approaching 30% of the entire stock of this. Nature in Motion, that's the name of the collection, has already gone. You've loved it. And thanks for all your messages on Facebook and all of the other social media platforms as well. This is what you're going to get. The whole collection here is giving you about a £45 saving compared to what you should be paying. £167.94 is the normal price. Today it's a show price of £124.99. And if you're in the UK, free P&P. Happy days. You don't pay any postage at all. Now, if you are watching us abroad, your postage is only £4.95. If you want to add in, say, your perfect papers, for example, or some pro paper, whichever you want, there'll be an extra £10 charge for shipping and handling. So that's £14.95 for your shipping and handling combined. But of course, if you're outside the UK, you don't get charged the VAT. So you're quids in, really. So those are basically the deals we've got. There's your perfect papers, if you would like them. All those colours match with the vignettes and the artwork, of course, that goes with the Nature in Motion. There's beautiful blues and mustard colours and beautiful greens as well. 48 A4 sheets, 300 GSM, only £14.99. But if we just have a little look at everything you're going to get, anyone that knows me will know that I love stags and deers. It's just, they're all over my house. The first thing I saw was the vaulting deer. Absolutely exquisite. You've then got your kingfishers, the flighted kingfisher. Over here you've got your through the seasons, which is that beautiful log and that fantastic corner. Over this side you've then got your elegant owl, and the movement that Nick the artist has captured with the wings and everything, spectacular. And then you've got your peonies with poise. Next level you've got your nesting dies, but these are no ordinary nesting die set. They are actually silver birch, and there's even vignettes and artwork for those frames as well. You get the square, the circle and the rectangle, and then down the bottom you've got your beautiful fern and also your wire work there as well, which if you use that 4 times makes a gorgeous feathered circle. So lots in this. And if I show you a couple of cards that lovely Carla made in the first show at 11 o'clock, this one was the second demonstration. This one, I'm going to take that home with me. The first demonstration. So you can watch that show back anytime you like on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. And also, of course, do message us, get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. You can email the studio@carnationcrafts.co.uk, or you can, of course, interact with us on Facebook as well. Just send us a message and we'll say hi a bit later on. I'm not on my own. You'll be pleased to hear. Carla!
Hello, lovely.
Hello, love. Did you have a good break?
Oh, it was with you. It was perfect.
Oh, you say nice things. I've got a squeaky hip.
I know, dude. I think it was when you nearly split your trousers in the last show.
That could be part of it. I need oiling. I think that's what it is.
Don't we all?
What a collection this is, though, eh?
It's, yeah, I mean, I've sort of discussed this on the Facebook preview that we did yesterday. So when we brought Nature's Grace, which was about a year ago, there was something incredibly breathtaking about that one. And, you know, Carnation's collections are all amazing, aren't they? You know, that's why we jump on board with it so much. But there's something really special about this collection. There's something, I don't know, the artwork on it is extraordinary. All of the pieces in here are just absolutely beautiful. So it's a really nice thing to be able to bring this collection to you, bring you these demos and show you the boards, and we're going to go through the all of the extra pieces in a moment.
Okay, and do you know what? What I love the most is that, okay, if you order this now, you'll get it in literally a few days. I know some people were saying last time when we did the collection about a month ago, some people were getting it the next day, which is fantastic. But instantly you can enjoy the artwork. All this artwork that you can see here on the packaging, you can print off right now from Carnation Crafts website in the shop area. Just go to the shop area on the website and absolutely no trouble. You can print off not only the artwork for the dies that you'll get very soon, but also you can print off some free background papers that complement this as well. Lots of you would like to do that right now, and you can do that maybe during the show or do it after the show. It's entirely up to you. Okay, this will show you exactly what you can do and give you some ideas and inspiration. The boards are beautiful. The artwork's amazing.
Stunning.
Sorry.
Big shout out. Oh,
squeaky in the corner.
Big shout out to everyone on Facebook. So Teresa, Karen, Jenny, hello, lovely people. And thank you for just sort of communicating with us, because it's really nice to know that we're not on our own and just standing in a room doing stuff. you know. Right, let's have a look at the boards for this collection. So Nature in Motion is exactly that. It's all about nature coming together. It's about movement. It's about creating movement within your cards. So we've got all of the extra pieces that bring in, so things like the light work that you'll see as we go through. These wings flapping, the stag obviously about to leap. All of those things, all of that motion that we want in our cards, it just adds so much, doesn't it? So this gorgeous, gorgeous owl here, every single line that you see going down these wings can be shaped individually. Now what you can do with these is snip into them even further, and you can start to fan them out and feather them out, so they're just beautiful to play with. There's something really lovely about them. Gorgeous tail feather, and obviously the ball tool when you start going into his face. Now we're going to demo with that owl. I think I'll demo with him first. You've got your split dies. We did a split die demo in the first one. Can I just borrow my card?
Yeah.
So for all of you who are watching and you don't know what a split die is, a split die means that it will be an over the card shape. So when you get your dies home, they're not broken. There is meant to be this gap. It's in two halves. You can use it as one full die just by taping the two together and putting it through your die machine, or you can just cut half away, and that gives you that edge that we get. So it's an over the card shape. Super important.
I mean, if that die was complete as a whole, it would limit you to what you could do with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this way we can go over the edge of the cards, and you can do, there's just so many ways of playing with it. Then we've got, look how beautiful these are. We've got those gorgeous kingfishers. For all of you, we said earlier on, who were with us in a collection a few collections back, we were introduced to the kingfisher then, and that is Linda, and Linda is back. That's obviously her official name.
Linda's the kingfisher. Eric's which one?
Eric is the owl.
Eric's the owl. Have we named the deer yet or not?
Roger.
Roger, okay.
We've got to call it Dave.
Why?
Dave the deer.
Dave the deer.
Yeah.
Dave the stags.
Yeah. Dave the deer. It's made my day. Carla's not too keen on it, but anyway.
We'll call the stag Bradford.
Okay.
How does that sound?
I prefer that even more.
Brad. We'll put Brad for short.
Brad the stag.
So Linda here, who also I have been told officially I'm not allowed to name things anymore.
I know why.
Can you tell I listen to them? Just really stunning. Again, all that movement on the wings, and we showed you kind of the magic of this earlier, and I'll show you it again later on as we come to demonstrate, but she is truly spectacular, and the fact that you get both motions is
because you can actually make the one that's flying at the bottom there into like a 3-dimension. You can sculpt the wings and maybe make mobiles out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much we can do just with that one die. It's a really, really beautiful piece. We move on to the peonies with poised with peonies.
Yes, peonies with poise.
Peonies and they're poison, and there's all sorts of things going on. These are stunning. There's something that's it's like a Victoriana piece. They're just really beautiful. We've got that corner element, so you can do, if you're doing your 8x8s or your squares, your rectangulars, your DLs, these really come into their own. Ovals and circles, you've then got that circular shape here, which is so pretty. Then we've got your added elements, which can be, you can use them as decoupage elements if you want, so you can stack. However, they are just pieces on their own, really. So the elements that we can use as embellishments, they work as either. It's up to you what you want to do with them. And the extra foliage obviously gives you that extra weight.
And if you are printing off your vignettes, you've got the choice of either printing them single-sided or a front and a back. So you choose which ones you want, and they're all free to do right now, including the artwork for this. This is my favourite I think I've ever seen in Carnation, this beautiful deer.
This is just beautiful, isn't it? So Brad here, who is very handsome, very, very handsome.
Thank you.
Has been designed and sculpted. So we have that musculature. It's a really strong muscle shape throughout his body.
So many similarities.
Just like your good self, Dave, where it's all buff. It's like a buff deer, just like yourself, Mr. Bradford. Don't ever let it be said that I said that in public. We can sculpt this out very, very easily with a ball tool here and pull out all the muscle on the stomach, on the rump. So for the first time ever, you can take a ball tool to Mr. Dave Bradford's bottom, but in the form of a stag.
I've got to show you this though, this card from Sue. I didn't think of doing this, but if you snip away the antlers, you'll see that you can then have a lady and a man.
Yeah, I really like the fact that when Carnation do things, they tend to think of everything in ways of trying to give you the most for your money. And they do like you to use your dies in as many ways as possible. I'm going to be totally honest here. I hadn't actually thought about that until you saw it this morning. But it's just one of the things that Carnation do, because you're meant to snip into Carnation dies. They very rarely, you know, have a thing where you wouldn't be able to snip anything out. So, for instance, if you just wanted a half stag, there are cut lines here where we can snip and pip. So you could take him and just use the half stag.
Or just the head, if you just wanted the head.
No, don't do that though. We are not a taxidermy show. But yes, absolutely. So there's all of those ways. You get your mats and layers for each one. You get that incredible artwork for free, which is always a bonus. We like free. And then we've got the light work. We looked at these this morning, and no doubt we'll look at them again over the course of the day. Light work's really, really important. When we're doing a card, especially if you've got a lot of white space in the background, white space is really important as well, because visually there's something that makes your vignettes pop when you've got that white space, but sometimes it can be too much. So when we break that up with a little bit of dimension and, you know, we give some sort of texture to the back of our cards, it just brings everything together in the most glorious way. And that's...
And although they're feathers, I mean, if you put two together, you've got like a half moon. It could be, if you do it in yellow cardstock, it could be a rising or setting sun, couldn't it? Do all four, you've then got a complete circle as a main topper, maybe.
If you did a little circle here and put like 2 eyes on it, it could be like a peacock.
Could be. Peacock feathers. Bit of acetate behind, colour it in with some alcohol pens. Magic.
Probably don't, though. These are your floofy things. There's an official title. Can we remember?
Grass.
Graceful grass. Thank you, Taz.
Floofy grass. If you're looking for it on the website, that's not its official name. Graceful grass. So these are just beautiful. And it's that fan that comes behind. So if you've got sort of the stag or you've got the owl and you've got that fan that shapes out behind it. So you've got that texture, that colour. But it's not taking over. It's not dominating your card at all. It's just adding those effects.
And they've even given you the artwork, the vignettes for that, for nothing as well, because normally companies wouldn't bother to give artwork for that, would they?
No, and I have to say as well, cut in white, they are beautiful, but the fact that we've got the artwork and it is free for you to just go and use whenever you want, those things are important. Corner elements, always your best friend, and I will say it again and again and again, corner elements in cards are just... It's that thing, isn't it? If you get a white canvas from somewhere and you've got to try and fill it with a load of stuff, it's really difficult to do. Same thing when you've got a card shape sitting there and you don't know where to start with your corner elements. Because as soon as you do, you've already framed it. And with these ones, if you put two together next to each other, you'll all of a sudden and very quickly... You'll know what I mean if you do it. You'll suddenly find yourself in a once upon a time situation. There's a real fairy tale element to these when you see them all going round. You can really start to build in. Now, if you put all four of these together and you put them round as a square and you put the tree stump at the bottom, you'll start to suddenly see really your visual with your fairy tales. When we're coming onto the silver birch frames, and you can use those tree trunks to create your forest, if you stick them behind, you've suddenly created a full forest scene without really doing anything.
And the thing is, every single Carnation craft card that you make is technically a story. Every single collection that you see can potentially tell a story. It's not just a beautiful looking card, it's a story to tell, and these are going to help you to tell that story. Now these nesting dies, these are spectacular. This is actually no ordinary nesting die, it's silver birch.
Yeah, so this is your silver birch. So you can see you've got all of this detailing going down here. Really pretty, aren't they? And you've got all your layers. So every red and white you see is a die. So you've got all your elements there that you need to cut out all of these. So each one is a separate die, which is lovely. They build up. You've got that sort of telescopic element. You've got things that can be used here for sentiments, which are beautiful. We will use those as we're going through the demos. And then you've got the artwork for it. So you actually get artwork for your nested dies, which is incredible.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So what I was saying about using those corner elements and then that tree stump, if you cut these away and use them as trees in a forest lined up in different heights, and then you use that tree stump and those corner elements, you can see how we suddenly have a fairy tale.
And those
happening.
centres are actually just held in with little pips, aren't
Yeah,
they?
little
so they're
pips.
easy to cut out.
You can take them away and use it just as a border or a frame. You don't have to use the whole thing. You can take, you know, to get rid of the insert if you want. So many ways of playing with these. They're so beautiful. Hi, Diane. It's lovely to have your company.
And
Thank you for joining.
Teresa says, Carla, you're infectious. I've ordered this. Oh dear.
That's what the doctor said. I'm not infectious. Don't look at me like that, Taz. I'm just saying.
Yeah, hi Diane. You can message us on Facebook if you'd like to. If you're watching us there, just send us a little message, say hi. We'd love to hear from you. So we've done the rectangles, now we're doing the squares.
Yeah, the squares. Again, really beautiful. But actually with the squares, what I'll say, the squares and the circles, which I used loads in demos, the small pieces are brilliant for stamping. So the artwork here that you've got, it takes a stamp really, really well. So you can really go to town on your sentiments on these. They just work. They're stunning. So great as backgrounds. I love the fact that they've done them in that blue colour, because they could have obviously chosen to do it in kind of a grey silver because it's the silver birch, but that blue brings all the sky elements together in our backgrounds for our stag and for our owls and those kind of things. It just works. And then we've got the chameleon eye, which I think has just maybe got a bit shifted in transit. So I don't think it's meant to look quite as, you know.
I know what you mean.
I think it's like it's eyeing you up.
It's on the wonk. A little bit.
A little bit like myself, Dave. And there you've got it in real terms. So you can see how useful this would be with a sentiment in the middle of it. So just absolutely gorgeous. Michelle, Sue, it's lovely to have you here. Thank you. You are all mad. That's you. They're saying that you're mad, Dave.
We are, and we're proud of it as well. Let me show you some cards that the design team have done. Barbara Treadwell's done this one, absolutely stunning. Not using any of the animals or the characters, but using the peonies and using, of course, those beautiful grasses there as well. Look at this, Eric the owl, you can call him whatever you want, but look at the layers on that. Pam Simpson has really given him so much dimension. Lots of layers there. Another one that's one of my favourites has to be this, because anyone that knows me knows I love reindeer and stags. And of course this is all year round. I saw a couple of comments on Facebook earlier that said make a fantastic father card or masculine card and Christmas cards nearer the time as well. But how beautiful is that? Lots of ways of using this stunning collection. Let me just say as well, that price, £124.99, is amazing. It's a £45 saving of what we should be charging you for it. It's exclusive to us as well for the time being. You will not find this anywhere apart from here on Carnation Crafts website and of course on the TV channel as well. Let us know where you're watching us. Are you watching us on YouTube? You can watch this back as whenever you like. The last ones we did last month, you can watch back whenever you like. Or you're watching us on Facebook or through carnationcrafts.co.uk. Either way, get this new collection. It's brand new today, demo on the way after I remind you why you need it.
Carnation Crafts TV brings you our new and exclusive collection, Nature in Motion. This gorgeous collection is filled with striking animals set to be a head-turner for any occasion, and the cut lines give off a beautiful detailed finish. This collection includes your fauna in motion, silver birch frames, peonies with poise, lightwork feature fan, graceful frass, and through the seasons die set. And this is yours to take home before seeing it anywhere else. Nature in Motion is also perfect for you to mix and match with your previous collection, Nature's Grace. Carnation Crafts even have an open angel policy, which allows you to make and sell all your completed projects. Don't forget to download the free vignettes on our website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Happy crafting with our fabulous collection, Nature in Motion.
What a collection. You're loving it. That's good to know. Remember, approaching 30% of the entire stock is gone and we're busy already in this show. Michelle Barker says, hi Dave and Carla, back again for more demos. Sue Hickey says, hiya, you're all mad, but love the shows. Keep the messages coming in on Facebook. Love to hear from you. Okay, let's do a demo. Let's show you what this collection can do.
I think I'm the only sane one here, I'm just saying. Rude. So we're using the circular nested of those silver birch. I will just say while I'm here, because it took me a while, I will admit it. Actually, it's taken me a while now because my brain's gone funny. Can you see just on the top of here, if I do it this way, put it against the table, there you go. Can you see that slight flat edge?
That ridge, yeah.
That's what we're lining up against when you're doing this.
Okay.
Just so you know, when you get home, just line it up on that slight edge there. So when you're putting two together, you're looking for that slight edge again, which might take me some time. There you go. So we can just put those together and they smush perfectly. Can you see?
That's a good idea that you said that, because I'd have spent probably hours trying to match it up. So.
That's exactly why I've told you, because I did spend hours. And then I got very cross with myself and had to break and, you know, watch a serial killer documentary. And that's never good in the middle of demos. So we're just going to fold that back. So that's got a 1/2 inch score just going across. It's got red liner tape on the back. Red liner tape's always going to be the strongest that you can have. And it's always going to be that sort of keeps it together the most. So I'm lining up those little edges that just sit flat, and I'm lining them together so that I know I've got it the right way around. But just remember, when you get home, these circular ones do have that tiny edge. We always remember with circular cards, if it won't stand on its own because it's circular, now this might because it's got that flat edge, so these stand perfectly. On other ones, if they don't, when you're using them, just snip a straight line off the back of your card and it'll hold it flat.
I think sometimes we forget that nesting dies can make card blanks, which can save you money. So
Totes! It
Absolutely.
just makes things easier. Right, I was saying in the show previously, and I will say again, because I'm weighting these, because I'm using so many of the nested dies together, the weight is very heavy at the front. So if I'm not careful, it will topple over. So I'm very careful about which dimension I'm using on my foam tape. So instead of going in for my 5mm, which I would love to do because I love that chunky feel, I'm just taking it down on my flat mats and layers to the 1mm to start with. So I'm sort of not giving it too much thickness, otherwise it's just going to waft forward, which is no fun when we've made a card. So I'm just going to place these down. So I've got the 3 strips of the 1mm, the middle one we leave exactly where it is, and these ones that we create our tabs with. The reason, for those of you who are brand new to card making, brand new to Carnation, the reason we leave the red liner on the back is just purely because it's there for support and it's not there to actually do anything with.
got to say hello to all of you that are messaging us today. Michelle Barker, hi Michelle. She says, watching through Facebook as I'm crafting at the same time,
Yay.
making an 80th card for friends. Mum, Carnation, of course.
Of course.
Jacqueline Ward's got a computer on split screen, and she's printing the vignettes as we're demonstrating. Mary Watt says, hi Carla and Dave, loving the demos. I've ordered the collection, so I'm on the naughty step and looking forward to getting the dies so that I can start playing. And hi to Sheila Beaver as well, says, hiya, loving the cards and demos. Keep the messages coming.
Mary, have you already downloaded them? I wonder if you've downloaded the vignettes and started to print, because I had so much fun just doing that.
I think she's doing that now.
Are you doing that as we speak?
I think she is, yeah.
So with these peonies, we can use these in loads of different ways. So what we can do is snip around the rows and just use this small element at the side with the sort of orange rose, if you like, and just use that as an element on its own. So please don't think you're just, you know, left with one particular piece. With Carnation, the point is to always be able to cut in and cut out. So they make sure that they're done in such a way you can do that. I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to let you know that that is an option. So I'm going to take my ball tool, we're going to go in with these petals and we're going to start shaping those out, going round. We're creating a dome. When you've got time at home, sit and do each petal individually. It'll make all the difference. Always work from your outside and bring yourself into the middle so that you're not breaking the paper. Same again for the smaller ones. Now I don't touch the leaves on these, although you could, but I'm going to start, I think it would get too fussy if I was to do every single leaf. So because we've got those 3 main focuses, with that big flower and then the 2 smaller ones, that's enough for me, but you might want to take it a bit further. I'm happy just with those 2. What that does is creates dimension and shape to that flower, so it domes out. And it's not massive on these, but it's enough to give it some kind of functional visual aesthetic, if that makes any kind of sense.
And I think what Carnation Crafts exceed at is that bridging that gap between card making and home art and home decor, because all of these images would look great in frames on walls. I mentioned that earlier on. So you're not just buying a card making kit here today, you're buying a home decor kit too, aren't you?
Yeah, all the time, with every collection with Carnation, and also every collection that you've ever bought with Carnation, you'll be able to use elements of that with elements of every other collection as well, so you're never kind of wasting. I think a lot of people, even in the Carnation group, tend to craft by collection.
Yeah.
So it tends to be, you know, if you're making a card, you'll see a lot of people, say like you've got Water's Edge, for instance, a lot of people will make a card with Water's Edge collection.
Well, this one
You
kind of
don't
follows
need
on
to.
from Nature's Grace, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But having said that, it stands alone on its own as well. But you'll find that all of your Carnation collections work together brilliantly in some shape or form.
Absolutely. And it's just about sort of playing and going through. So I got, I had to catalogue pretty much all of Carnation's dies not long ago, and it was just such a lovely little trip down memory lane, remembering each collection and how vivid, how beautiful it is, you know, and how gorgeous and how they do completely sit together. It's just...
Well, it's lovely sometimes to have a sort out, to go back through what you've bought over the months. I mean, at the moment, I'm moving house next week, actually, so we're going through everything and having a sort out, and you forget what you've got half the time.
I do here anyway, because I just hoard junk, basically. It's just my life, I think. So I'm placing those in on the circle, and I know a lot of people love to do kind of the top and the bottom, or the side and the side. I tend to always go displaced. I don't know why, it's just something I prefer. I love that line that goes through, and I like the fact that it goes at an angle, because to me it takes the card on a journey. So I do tend to do that most times. What I'm going to do is use this space up here specifically, and you'll see why in a minute. So I want to bring the owl in, and the owl is it kind of, I'll show you what I mean. Let me go further. You can see now I've ramped up, so I've gone from 1mm and I'm now on with my 5mm. I've got a good thick foam tape here. Now I'm just going to take this off. You'll see how this becomes super chunk, and I love it. So I'm just going to place this in the centre, and you'll see where I'm going, hopefully. If not, you can just look confused like everybody else. Story of my life. So I'm just going to place this here.
Yeah.
So I've got that element going through. I'm just going to shunt these round, because I think I've got that.
And the glue gel gives you a bit of wiggle time.
Yeah, you've always got wiggle time with pin flare. You can get pin flare on the website. Do we still have the names of the winners from this morning's competition, do you know? Or have we lost those now?
We were going to do them again at 5.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. I could have done with that more on the wonk, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we're just pushing and pulling.
Yeah, so for those of you that actually entered, we asked you to subscribe to YouTube, like a Facebook post, and tag a friend. Loads of you did that. We've announced the winner already in the earlier show, but we'll do it again at 5 o'clock in case you missed it. But 2 of you are going to win £500 credit.
Now I'm slapping a sentiment in the middle here, just on thank you, and you can look how beautiful that is.
Stunning.
How we become into that kind of, I want to kind of say kaleidoscopic, but I don't know if that's what I mean, but I know what I mean in my head.
And you've not had to colour anything, because the vignettes for the silver beech, or silver birch even, the silver birch frames, that's on the website to print off now. All the flowers are coloured up and printed off on the website right now. But if you want to start them as white and colour them in and get inspiration from the vignettes...
I totes coloured them in with alcohol markers, Dave. God. I didn't. I used the artwork, because who needs to do all of that? That's all I'm saying.
But if you love doing it, you can.
Yeah, I think the other thing I would say is, if you're somebody who wants to have a go at watercolour, wants to have a go with your alcohol markers, go onto the Carnation Crafts website, download the vignettes. They're free, so just download them, put them on your computer screen, and obviously you might be using different colours and that kind of thing, but if you use Nick's artwork as a shading guide, so you can see where you want to go with those darker elements, especially with alcohol markers, how you can bring those through, then just use his artwork to do that. It's absolutely fine to do that. All of Carnation Crafts artwork has got a free angel policy on it, so go for your life.
You can make and sell.
Right, I'm just going to stem the gap that I've got here, because I want to use the owl, and I'm just going to place this and push it under and over on that element. Now that's too naked for me, because I've got a lot going on here, so I need to add some colour in here. So I'm just going to use some of those blues, and then we're going to place the owl, so it won't be a second.
Isn't it great these days that you can be in your craft room, you can have your PC by your side or your tablet by your side, you can be crafting away, watching us, getting inspiration.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we've got people with us. I can see people posting as well, which is so lovely.
This is June Mitchell. She says, hi Carla and Dave, love all things Carnation Craft. This collection is super stunning,
Right.
Just a knockout. We're all saying it, aren't we?
It's special, this one, that's why. There is something so special about this collection, and I don't know, I can't quite place why that is, but there is something so incredibly special about it.
Eileen Derry says, hi, back again, watched you both this morning, you're such a good double act. Eileen is in Liverpool. Oh, love Liverpool, used to work there. Alison Ward, beautiful collection, just having my lunch and enjoying the demos, watching part 2. Carnation are so versatile, always mix and match collections. This has so many options, fab job. Thank you.
What you having for your lunch? That's what we actually want to know.
Well, you're cooking it.
No, I mean you know.
Oh, all right, yeah, we want to know
you know,
not what I'm having for my lunch, what you're having for your lunch at home.
I know what you're having for your lunch. I'm cooking it. Right, this beautiful owl. Let's have a look at this barn owl.
Eric.
So, Eric is absolutely stunning. There's something entirely breathtaking about this. Now, I've obviously got this on the reverse because I'm using a mirrored vignette. So, mirrored vignette means I can have colour on both sides. It means when you download it, you'll have a PDF document that'll have, say like you've got, I don't know, 40 images, just say, so it'll say 1 of 40. I don't know how many there is, don't quote me, but whatever it is. Like number 1 will be your single-sided vignettes, page number 2 will be your mirrored vignettes, and it'll have a black line that goes down the centre. We're just folding the paper on that black line, spray some glue in the inside of it. You can use like a Pritt stick. What are they called?
Yeah,
glue
sticks.
You can use one of those as well, and you just put it together, obviously, and you put a die on top and chuck it through your machine, and it gives you what's called a mirrored vignette. So it's got colour both sides.
If you kind of think, well, why do I need colour both sides? This card here, actually, that I'm holding up, shows you a reason why it's such a good idea, because you've actually got those foliage corners, but you've got a left one and you've got a right one. And you wouldn't be able to do that unless you had the mirrored vignettes. So you've got a left-looking owl and a right-looking owl. But also, if it's going to be decoupaged or whatever and layered, and you can see possibly something around the back, then of course it's important to have the colour in. So yeah, there's your left and right vignette.
Unlike my slippers, which I bought, which by the way, somehow managed to get 2 left ones.
You bought 2 left slippers?
Yeah. Dude, walking around
Do you walk
in circles all the time. It's like the most uncomfortable thing in the world. Who would know? Who would have thunk? Right, so with Eric, I'm taking the ball tools that are appropriate to the size of the area that I'm working on. So for instance, his eye here, I will take it into the smaller ball tool. You can take it even smaller if you so wish. That'll give it more depth. So the smaller it is, the further it'll push it out. What I will say is, remember with the eye, it is held together by a pip. So if you push too high, that's not
going to end
nice.
happily,
It's
is
like a
it?
Jaws film from long ago when something happened with an eye on there. I'm just saying, it stuck with me as a child. Then we'll get, so his eye is slightly protruding here. We're getting that shape. Now I want to come down where his beak would be. So I'm just pushing this down here, and I'm going through, because their faces are shaped that way. So we're getting the owl there, then we're going to turn him back over, and on the top of that I'm going to take the smaller ball tool and I'm going to raise this round here so we get the protrusion from the head. So we're working on both sides, we're mirroring, this is where we're sculpting, so we're mirroring that shape out.
And to be honest, if you've never done this, if you've never got a ball tool to any of your die cuts, give it a go. The difference it makes is amazing.
Yeah, and it's so easy. So I'm just shaping a little bit with those feathers, not too much, and I'm only going in on the coloured aspect to it. So each feather has got a white side and a coloured side, and I'm just sculpting on those coloured sides, just to give it kind of that half and half shape.
And the dies always give you the little cuts that make it easy to do that, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So you can start to see we're really gaining shape here. Top of each feather.
It's more like a paper sculpture.
It is. So that's what Carnation do. Carnation create. You can have it as a flat vignette if you don't want to, go into this sort of detail with it. But every single vignette they do, they allow you to sculpt with it. And for someone like me, where sculpting is so important, it is just a paradise to play with. So then let's give him a little bit of extra oomph around his body. We're just going to go around that thigh line here and down. So bulge him out there. And then we're going to go around on his head, and that is it sculpted. Now, I know that might seem like a lot of extra work when we're just sitting and we're making cards, but actually the definition and the dimension that you get with that is incredible, because we're building up drama. And the thing is, it's very hard for that to translate on camera, but when you see it in person and you see how that's just come to life because we've created a sculpture, it just goes to town. What we can do is then cut out 2 of these and add an extra wing on top to give it extra dimension, or just individual feathers, and you can really go to town. So it's as much or as little as you want.
Jane Mormon says on Facebook, Carnation Craft just gets better with every collection, and it's so good to be able to mix and match. Michelle Barker says your demos are fabulous today, Carla, from each show. Two left slippers. Now that's hilarious. And Kim says, hi Carla, sorry I'm late. It's
Kim,
all right.
don't you worry.
Kim, you're forgiven. Do not worry. Shall I show you? Have you finished, John?
You go. I'm
Okay.
just playing with his face.
All right. I will show you some finished samples, and then we'll remind you of the main collection. I haven't got a name on this one. Oh, yes, I have. Lavinia. Hello, Lavinia. The design team always look forward to the next collection coming out. And remember, this collection at the moment is not available anywhere else. So this is what we do on Carnation Crafts TV. Every month or so, we bring you a new collection that's exclusive to our channel. And we've only had this channel for about 5 or 6 weeks. So we're very, very new. This is only the second time I've been presenting on it. And I always look forward to coming up here and seeing Carla and Taz and all the team and launching this brand new one, Nature in Motion. It's fantastic. I love my deer, so the deer is certainly my favourite in the collection, but the kingfisher, the owl, all of the other dies and all of that stunning artwork that you can now make either pieces of art for the home decor, or cards, and sell what you make as well. It's spectacular. It's £124.99, free postage as well. So not only is it £45 less than it should be, it's no P&P if you're in the UK. If you're watching us abroad, there is a P&P charge of £4.95. So if you're in America, for example, £4.95 postage. And if you do want to add in the perfect papers, if you don't want perfect papers, but you'd rather have pro paper instead, just put that in the comments section when you place your order, and they will change the perfect papers for your pro paper. Okay, and then those are the perfect papers with all those fantastic colours. And then look at the finished demo. We've glued it, we've stuck it, and there it is.
So what we do then is we've filled that space at the bottom with those blue flowers, because we don't want to have an empty space where we're placing it, because it'll look naked. So we're putting some blue flowers here just to fill that gap, and then we put Eric at the top. Now Eric, for me, is too big to go on the circle card just as a whole, because he just overtakes all those nested. So if we can use him as a piece of dimension on the top, can you see how we then bring in that really glorious element? Now if you see from the side, he has been stuck on to the second of these layers. So he's sat behind the top one. You can't see his claws too much. It looks like he's just about to land, and he is on this one. So we're not placing him behind, we're adding dimension and layers to bring him forward.
That's stunning.
It is. And once he's on, you can start to shape and play with those wings and put them whichever way you want. This is a sort of card that you're probably going to need a box to put in, although if you could do it with Jiffy, a big Jiffy bag thingy, and that would hold it and protect it.
Okay, so if you're going for the collection, which I know many of you have, it'll be with you in record time. I know some people said the last collection we did last month was with certain people the day after. We can't promise that every time, but we'll do our best to get it to you as quickly as we possibly can. If you pop in the perfect papers, of course, you get 48 sheets in these beautiful colours that will complement the vignettes and the artwork perfectly. You get 6 colours, 8 of each, and that's just £14.99 plus your P&P. 220427 for the perfect papers. If you're in the UK, that's basically what you have to pay. If you're in the US and you put the perfect papers in, there will be a £14.95 charge for shipping and handling, but of course you don't have to pay the VAT, so that kind of cancels that out basically. So more from Carla in a second. Let's remind you though about this brand new collection.
Carnation Crafts TV brings you our new and exclusive collection, Nature in Motion. This gorgeous collection is filled with striking animals set to be a head-turner for any occasion, and the cut lines give off a beautiful detailed finish. This collection includes your fauna in motion, silver birch frames, peonies with poise, lightwork feature fan, graceful frass, and through the seasons die set. And this is yours to take home before seeing it anywhere else. Nature in Motion is also perfect for you to mix and match with your previous collection, Nature's Grace. Carnation Crafts even have an open angel policy, which allows you to make and sell all your completed projects. Don't forget to download the free vignettes on our website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Happy crafting with our fabulous collection, Nature in Motion.
Hello to Eileen, who's just messaged us on Facebook. This is a really good comment actually. She says, with each new set of nesting dies, it changes all my older collections to do different styles. So give me a whole new outlook on some of my older collections. That's really, really good, isn't it?
It is. It's a really valid comment. It's also, it's literally that in one sentence, Eileen, is the ethos of Carnations. The whole point is that they don't want you to just ignore the collections that you've got sitting there. They want you to use them.
Demo coming up in a sec. Jenny West says, I ordered yesterday and this morning it's been completed thanks to the warehouse team. And Kim Holding backs this up as well. Carnation Crafts customer service is second to none. And yes, I've received next day service. So let's hope you get yours tomorrow if you're ordering it now. If not, it'll be the day after, I'm sure.
Are we playing?
Let's play.
Okay, so let's have a look at the square nested dies, because that's the ones we haven't sort of played with yet, and I want you to see them, and I want to talk about layers and how we layer them up, and how I do. I would never suggest my way of crafting is everybody else's, but it's how I like to play with the vignettes. So again, we've cut the large one twice, and we score at 1/2 inch. I do apologise for repeating this every time we do a demo, but we do have new card makers watching all the time, and I think it's nice for everybody to be singing, you know, from the same page sort of thing. I just think it's a nice way of showing it.
Also, every time we do a show like this, there are more and more people finding Carnation Craft TV.
Absolutely. So we're going to push those together. Can you see all the bits of, I think that, did I eat chocolate? I don't know. It's a bit of summer. We ignore the bit of chum that's on there and we just do that together. I'm having trouble now because I have nails.
I'm just very impressed with your talents. They're good.
Yeah, I've got so used to having just stubs with finger covers on that actually I'm now finding it more difficult the other way. Anyway, we'll get used to it eventually. And these are obviously pretend plastic ones because I have absolutely no nails underneath, just so you know. So we're just going to use this.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but actually when I had my first audition to get on TV, I had false nails on because I was a nail biter.
Did you?
Yeah, and they never knew because I knew they wouldn't give me the job unless I got nails. So.
That is so funny.
They weren't like yours then.
No. Well, I would, you know.
That would be weird.
And also, like, I can't do anything with mine. Also, like, these have got little white tips, and I've taken all of that off with, because I got the glue that you put them on with stuck on my fingers, and then the nails stuck to me, and I was there for ages, and I pulled it away, and it's pulled all the paint off now. If anybody's wondering why, they already look wrecked, that's why. I'm not very good at being a girl. I'm not very good at being a girl. So I'm going in with the 3mm foam tape this time. This is because I do want some depth, but I don't want to make it so high that it creates a problem and that it wobbles over. So I'm going in with 3 because we're building in layers this time. And what I'm trying to do is show you the importance, or the joy, should I say, of these nested dies. Nested dies are normally sold to us as almost single objects. So if you get 20 nested dies in a pack, you choose the size you want and you use that as your nested die. I tend to think that nested dies have got much more power in a pack than they have individually. So I like to use them as layers because I think if you can, especially with things like the crystalline that Carnation have bought before, or the shabbies, certainly these, if we start to use those as layers and build depth, instead of just using one, we create so much more impact.
But normally nesting dies are either a straight line or maybe faux stitching or something, but this is actually a silver birch design, so it's more of a frame than an actual...
It is, and also, again, like, you know, we said before, cutting it in white is a beautiful thing. They look absolutely gorgeous with it. The way the nested dies work. Can you get hold of a nested die? Can you see a patch
I
there?
can.
So I can just show it.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's important. When we show the metal, it's easier for you to see. So when I show you this here, this is a die. And then this is a die.
Right.
So the two are separate. So this is separate to this. If you didn't want that silver birch detailing, so this here, you just ignore this one and just use these as your nested dies. So then you've got a different shape. It's that way of doing things. However, each of these also has a cutting edge. So what you can do is put this one down on your paper with this one in between. Put a piece of tape over the two of them so you're keeping them exactly in place, and it will cut it, but instead of cutting it with this, it would cut it out, so you wouldn't have that centre panel. So there's loads of ways to play with them.
Again, it's all about versatility. Why buy a die that just does one thing when you can have a die set that does numerous things? And don't forget to print off the artwork, the vignettes for the frames as well.
Bit like 2 left slippers. Why buy 2 left slippers when you could get 1 of each?
Did you buy them by mistake, or did they get sent to you in error? By mistake?
Yep. Do you know what's even worse?
Didn't you try them on first?
No, dude. What's even worse is that I didn't buy them for me, I bought them for my son. And bless his cotton socks, my beautiful, beautiful boy has got learning difficulties, and he's very funny anyway. He's got a very awesome sense of humour, and he just kept saying to me, Mum, these slippers feel weird. Well, he has sensory overload all the
Okay.
time. So I'm just like, well, you know, it'll be fine. You just need to get used to them, kid. No worries. He kept saying, these slippers are weird. And then I put his slippers on so I could go do something outside. And I was like, man, these slippers feel weird. And I looked, it's because they're 2 left feet.
Hello, Kim. Oh, you're lovely. Thank you for the nice comment. And also, Shadia Hamid says, good morning, Carla and Dave, watching my favourite too.
Yay.
Ah.
Hello.
A lot of love out there. Thank you for that.
See, Dave, you're so brilliant. That's what they say.
Well,
He's very brilliant and very squeaky this morning.
I'm very squeaky. I must get that scene too.
Yeah, bless him. Well, so on the earlier show, if you missed it, Dave bent over and nearly split his trousers, and I think he may have affected the joist below him.
I think I have affected what I'm stood on, and it's squeaking in shock.
I'll get my WD-40 out there, so
All right,
it'll
well,
be
thank
fine.
you. Good.
Yeah, but
Do remember, we're not just here for this show. We're coming back at 5 o'clock UK time, and that's going to be a really busy one. We'll have lots of American interaction as well by that time, because obviously they're about 5 or 8 hours behind the UK. So, yeah, 1:45. We'll take a break at 2 o'clock and come back at 5 with more demos and more interaction from you wherever you may be watching around the world.
right, see, I mean, look how pretty that already is.
Yeah, love it.
It's just, you could just whack a sentiment in the middle of there. You've got something absolutely beautiful. You know, this is the whole point. We don't need to go to town, you know, massively, but it's so pretty to just keep playing with these layers. So with this square one, I'm then taking it through to the diamond. So I've got my corner elements. I'm taking it through to the diamond here. And I have got Linda. Never stop looking for Linda. So what we're going to do with Linda, Linda's special. Linda is really, really special because we can shape her in such a way that we create motion with her, nature in motion, obviously being the title of the collection. So you can use her as a 3D element. So if you were to make a pop-up card, you could pretty much have her almost in flight as it was opening. And we can do the wings either way. Now, on this one specifically, you can see that I've got some foam tape at the bottom here and some foam tape just on either side of her wing, and I specifically have nothing in the middle. All I'm going to do with Linda, which is not much, I'm going to take a ball tool, let me find that one, and I'm just going to shape out her head. That's all I'm touching, really. I'll probably do a tiny bit on the body, but not much more.
See, without you seeing this demonstration, I would never have entered my head to get the wings 3-dimensional, to get the body 3-dimensional, but you can do that because of all the little cut lines that's in the die.
It just works, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
brilliant.
So I just take her body slightly rounded, not too much. I don't want to over egg it because she is so stunning as she is. Now let's play. I love, love, love paper sculpture.
Yeah, me too.
This is just a dream for me. So I'm just taking these off.
Now, we
Now-
talked about with the double-sided vignettes what sort of paper you recommend. You recommend 120, was it? Or-
Yeah, 120 for your double-sided vignettes
Okay.
because it becomes 240.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to push her beak. Right. So as you can see, I'm holding her here just on the tip of her wings, and I've got that foam tape. I need to manipulate it because I want her to be shaped. So I'm going to place her tail down first, and then I'm going to place her wings. Push her tail. Make sure she sticks.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And she is absolutely in flight.
I had no idea you could do that.
So I now have, you see the dimension?
Yeah.
So she is absolutely in flight. And then I'm just going to take a very simple sentiment, and I've just taken a tiny bit of foam tape, and I've just got it on the one side because I'm just going to stick this just under here just to add that side element, and I'm leaving this side free because I've got her in flight, so I want to have that as the focus. And when we stand her up, you can see
That is amazing.
the element and the depth on that as it goes. Can you see? So when she sits forward, you have got the most extraordinary shadow work that goes through because she has got the dimension.
I wonder how many of you are going to be doing that demonstration, that card, at the first thing you do when your kit arrives in the next couple of days, when your fantastic collection arrives. Now, hi to Shadia, hi to Linda Parsons. Also, afternoon, Carla and Dave. I'm sitting, watching and printing my downloads ready for when my collection arrives. That's the best thing to do. Whoa, brilliant. This is the reason I love Carnation Craft, and know that you're the cheapest to ship to Canada as well. Great, good news. Michelle Barker says stunning too. That has got to be, as far as I'm concerned, the card of the day. Look at that. Just look at that dimension, how it just leaps off the page. And you wouldn't know, unless you saw Cara do it, that you could actually do that with a ball tool. Very quick, very easy, but so effective. Yeah,
I think she's an extraordinary I mean, I say about, you know, all joking aside, I say about Nick an awful lot being a genius. It comes down, my background is in paper sculpture, so you know, when
that's
I see it is my thing, you know, that's what I love to do. I love to sculpt paper, so I'm not actually a natural card maker. I'm more naturally a paper sculptor. So when I see Nick kind of get on board with that and really manipulate the lines that he's doing, and what I can never find the words really to say it, but when you know, you use dies, we use them all the time, don't we, and they've got cut lines in to embellish and to add a bit of detail, and I love that Carnation go that step further. Okay, so yeah, we can add the cut lines in to do that, but let's look at then how we can use those to manipulate the paper, and that thought process goes in before it ever goes and gets produced. So to do something like that, I mean, look at that.
It's amazing.
To do something like that with a piece of paper, it's just a single piece of paper. It's incredible, you know.
Now, some of the design team have sent in cards for us, and they're going to inspire you as well. Lavinia Newton is a familiar name and a great craft. Look at that. And again, that owl, Eric the Owl, in full flight, coming in for a swoop, but made with that dome of acetate on the front. Absolutely lovely. This one is Barbara Treadwell. Hello, Barbara. Nice to know that you're still doing the cards for us. How about that? Isn't that lovely? That wonderful deer. Actually, the deer's been a firm favourite. There's loads of deer cards here, as you can probably see. On your special day. That's just majestic. That will make a great dad card. That was you, wasn't it, in the last show? I think you did that one.
No.
Wasn't that you?
No.
Oh, I thought it was. One similar to it.
I did an over the edge with him, but I don't know which one it was, Dave.
Not that one.
It was a green background,
Oh,
the one
hang
I
on.
did.
I've not shown you this one yet. This is using that fantastic wirework die. Lindsay Atherton's done this. Look at that.
The light work going behind it.
Isn't that
light
just
work's
beautiful?
so important for impact. I think it's so easy to overlook light work, and I know, you know, a lot of people are like, well, it's probably not the one I'm going to use the most, but actually it ends up being, for me, the ones I use the most. I love them.
Well, should we show everyone what they get?
Yes.
Okay, the owl first of all is your first die that you're going to get. Remember, lots of you are doing what we suggest, printing off the vignettes right now while you're watching the show. You can marvel at the artwork, and that's what you will do all afternoon. You just think, oh wow, this is mine now, I can do with it what I want. You can sell it, you can put it in frames on the wall, whatever you want to do. The dies will be with you in next to no time.
So we've got Eric here, beautiful, stunning artwork. You've seen me using them in demo earlier today. Again, can be shaped out, can be moulded, can be sculpted, can be laid flat. It's entirely up to you what you want to do with them. So pretty and so much detail, scope, depth and dimension in all of these. And Nick's artwork, as always, is second to none. I genuinely think on the die market he has got the best artwork going. It's so well defined. These beautiful blues, this azure colour that comes in with Linda, and we've obviously got her in double flight mode, so we've got the two perspectives going through, and you've just seen me using her to bring in all of that dimension that you can get. But again, she's just as glorious just as she is.
If you're wondering who Linda is, it's the Kingfisher. Of course. What other name would you give a Kingfisher than Linda?
Linda.
Yeah.
It's a perfect name.
You can call your Kingfisher whatever you want when you get it home, but yeah.
One of my cats is called Miss Babs.
That doesn't surprise me.
One of my cats, who unfortunately did pass away, I have to say, was called Dave.
Really?
Dave.
Ah.
He was Dave.
He's a double Dave, was he?
He was a double Dave. And then I had Dolly, but then Dolly went to the doctors and came out Kenny. I'd got the wrong way. Things did not go well. It's no wonder she wasn't talking to me. He wasn't talking to me for the longest time. Every time I called him Dolly, he moved. So he went from Dolly Parton to Kenny Rogers. So you've got your corner elements on these peonies here, and then that beautiful curvature on this one, on your pear. I love these, the impact of these colours. Please, if you possibly can, try and print on Pro Print paper, because you'll just make so much more of the colours that you're getting through those through your printer. And it's not the printer that you use that matters, it's the paper that you print on that will make the difference.
And Pro Paper is on the website, you can purchase that, can't you?
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah, go and have a look. 120. If you're going to have to choose between any of the three sizes, any of the three depths, I would personally say to you, go for your 120, because that's the ones that I use for my double-sided. If, however, you don't want to print double-sided, please then probably go for a 170 for your single-sided or the 220, and then for your backing papers, because I get to choose between the three, for my backing papers I always tend to try and choose the 220 if I can, just because it's a bit sturdier when you're putting things on top of it, stops it sagging. So we've got here the beautiful Brad Stagg.
Yeah, I like that.
Brad Stagg, and just stunning, isn't he? And again, all that movement and that dimension.
I've decided
there.
that's going to be my family Christmas card this year. I
I
love that image so much. But it's not just Christmas, it's all year round, but certainly I can make him even more festive.
I just think if he had tartan behind him, I
Yeah.
mean, I was saying, I don't know where I put it, I mean, you wouldn't want to use the one this side, but if you were using this to make nameplates for, you know, the Christmas table, obviously you'd use the smaller of these, but just going across with the name stamped on would just be incredible, wouldn't it? Really pretty. Excuse me. Sorry, just Shadia. Carla, did you say international paid $10 more for the Pro paper, please? So just to go over what Carnation do when they're doing international shipping on papers, if you buy this full collection internationally, my belt's just come undone.
Uh-oh.
It will cost you. Luckily, it doesn't hold my dress up, otherwise you'd all be in trouble. It would cost you $4.95,
Yeah.
and that's UK dollars, but it'll do you a transfer as it goes through. If you want to add in your Pro paper, it goes up by £10, so $14.95. That's going to be your full price. If, however, you don't want the perfect papers, you'd still have to go through checkout as if you're getting the perfect papers. But in the notes section, say, no perfect papers, can you swap it out for Pro print, and they'll swap it for you. You can only have one pack of papers within that. You can't order 5 packs and it still be £10, obviously. But you can choose which pack of paper.
And as Shadia said, you know, really, really cost-effective way of buying from us. The shipping is really, really competitive. And of course, in foreign countries, you don't pay the British VAT.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of a win-win situation for you as well.
Absolutely.
And in the UK, you don't pay any postage at all if you buy the main collection. So how about that?
Yeah, it's, you know, the Carnation try and be fair all the time, which I really like, because not all companies do. So it's nice that they're trying to keep it as balanced as they can, because, you know, it costs, doesn't it? This beautiful light work that we've looked at, just so pretty, but put 4 together, you've got that full circle. Do 2, you've got your semicircle. So start to think of how we can base out cards. So you'd have your grounding device and then your base round when you've got 2 of those together. So you've got that stunning sort of semicircle. You've got your floofers. Is it called glamorous grass?
Graceful.
Graceful grass.
I mean, I think
It's
we
glamorous
should have
too.
called it glamorous.
Well, it's glam.
We've got a kingfisher called Linda. We should have had glamorous grass. It's like floofy poofy grass. It's very pretty.
And there's
again,
even vignettes and artwork for that.
yeah, so you
That's
get all
great.
that fanning out behind. Put 2 of those together. Put 1. You can see where this little point here is. If they're together, that little bit of the vignette is together. So take another one and tuck it so this little piece gets tucked behind that little piece, and you'll get this real bloom. It's just manipulation.
Now, don't forget, of course, if you do go to carnationcrafts.co.uk, go to the shop section. That's where you'll find the vignettes, and that's where you'll find also the backing papers that you can print off free as well. Most of you seem to be doing that right now, which is fantastic. And we'll get this collection to you ASAP. And there's more.
Yeah, so you've got your corner element here. This is through the seasons. You've got the beautiful tree stump. You've got all the mats and layers for that, which are just stunning. I'm going a little faster because we're going to the end of the show. Then you've got your nested dies. You've got your beautiful silver birch dies here. These nested rectangles, and then which again, free artwork. Then you've got your nested squares. Again, free artwork. And finally, you have those beautiful nested circles.
Alison says on Facebook, Alison Ward, it'll go great with the Tranquil Time stags.
Yeah, Tranquil Times is a stunning collection as well, isn't it? And you remember Tranquil Times from C&C? Is it vague in your memory?
If I saw it, I'll probably remember
You'd
it.
know it if you saw it. Yeah, they've got the stags in. I think they've done stags in a couple, because there's whitetail as well. Carnation. If you go onto the Carnation Crafts website and type in whitetail, you'll see another stag that they did. I'm sure it's called whitetail. I could have totally made that up.
I think one of the comments of the show has to be from Eileen Derry, who says that basically when she buys new collections, it allows her to mix them with older collections and re-inspire her. So it kind of re-enlivens collections you've had maybe for months or even years. So thank you for all your interaction collection today. Whatever you do, make sure you join us at 5 o'clock. That's always the busiest show because maybe you've got things to do during the day and you can sit and put your feet up at 5 o'clock. But it also means a lot of our American viewers will be joining us as well, or wherever you may be across the world. 5 p.m. UK time will be our next show, and it's, remember, the launch of this fantastic collection. If you would like to order it, if you'd like to also print off your artwork, the vignettes, please feel free to do that right now. It is free to actually print them off. carnationcrafts.co.uk. Go to the shop section, you'll find it there. You'll find this collection, which you can put in your basket and check out. You'll also find previous collections that may take your fancy as well. So have a little browse. I think we're out of time for this one, aren't we?
I think so. It's time for Bolognese, Dave. Bolognese time.
Okay, we'll see you back at 5 o'clock in about 3 hours. Have a great afternoon.